Welcome to the Sibling Rivalry MMA podcast.
Worked.
Today we're going to be talking about two potential fights. Neither have been announced, neither are official. Probably neither are going to happen. Jon Jones versus Israel Adesanya and Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, wherever that is going to play out. So first we can talk about Izzy versus Jon Jones.
Yeah, a lot of internet talk, a lot of tweeting, a lot of memes,
Wait
a lot of
second.
bullshit.
This isn't my beer. Here it is.
There you go. Yeah. Give me the. Why you got the mic all over there? I don't know if they can hear me. All right.
I didn't mean to put it there.
So, yeah, I don't know. They're just talking a lot of shit. I would love to see this fight, but it is weird though. Jon Jones just vacated the 205 belt and said he's going up to heavyweight, which I'm sure he doesn't care. I'm sure he'd fight Israel Adesanya. I'm sure he'd fight anybody at heavyweight. He's just kind of looking for money fights. He's proven his point at 205. He just wants a big fight to make his legacy better and win some fans over. And I think that's a good fight to do it at. I would like to see him at heavyweight, and I would like to see him fight Adesanya.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were done.
I'll come back.
Oh, my bad. Well, I was going to say, yeah, they're starting to make it personal. Izzy was talking about Jon Jones' mom not being proud of him, who's dead. If it was anybody else, I'd feel bad, but Jon Jones has done stuff like that multiple times. So
I do. I still hate that shit. That's fucked up.
yeah, I mean, I don't like it. But
You can't do that.
so, yeah, it's getting personal. They're saying some pretty fucked up stuff. I don't like either of these guys. I think they're both fucking douchebags and assholes. But if they fought, I would watch it. I'd love to see it. It's one of the few fights the UFC puts on that I would pay for. I would pay to watch these guys fight. Wouldn't find another way to watch it. I would pay to watch it. And I think Jon Jones should win that fight. I think a motivated Jon Jones is fucking scary. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be hard for Izzy to find a way to win. He's really good at counterpunching and uses his length, and both of those are really hard to do against Jon Jones. So
Yeah.
I'd have Jones in that.
Yeah, I mean, Jones should win the fight. He's the bigger guy. He's the better guy.
Way more well-rounded.
Way more well-rounded. Should be able to wrestle Adesanya. A lot of guys have problems closing that distance with Adesanya and being able to get in to try to get a takedown. Jones should be able to get that done if that's what he wants to do, which I think he should. He may be able to stand with him. He probably can. But I don't know. If he did get to the ground, that's where he has a clear advantage, no question. But yeah, I don't like it getting that personal. I'm all for fun trash talk. Especially if you don't like somebody, it can maybe get a little over the line. But talking about somebody's dead parents, that's way too far. I'm not the biggest Jon Jones fan, but I kind of like him. Like every now he wins me over sometimes. He does a lot of good stuff for his community, and that's true. I actually do think that he kind of is trying to be a better person, and he's made a lot of mistakes. But I do think that he's trying to be a better guy. So I kind of am always a little deep down, other when he's fighting Daniel Cormier, rooting for Jon Jones. Adesanya, he's really been rubbing me the wrong way. I didn't like what he did after the Costa fight, which a lot of people backed him up on that, saying Costa was talking all this crazy talk before the fight, which I don't feel like he ever really crossed a line, unless I missed something. Did he?
No, it was just kind of stupid stuff. He barely even speaks English.
Yeah, and they both were doing it. I don't feel like Costa crossed any lines to deserve any of that. So yeah, I'm not an Adesanya fan right now, and I never was a huge Adesanya fan. I always kind of was on the fence with him, and he kind of just pushed me over, which doesn't matter what I think. But I don't think this fight's even going to happen. Adesanya's coaches don't even really think that he can beat Jon Jones.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
He doesn't seem like he really wants the fight. I think he just wants to get his name out there and talk shit. He's said multiple times he won't be ready until 2021. What the fuck is that?
But I think he believes that. That's the thing.
That. If you don't think you can beat him, then you're not going to fucking beat him. So, and Jon Jones is bulking right now. He's very clearly bigger than he's been in the past. So him going back down to 205 right now, I don't think that's something he'll do. And I don't. This is probably a bigger money fight, but I think for his legacy, him going up and beating Stipe is a way bigger deal than him beating Adesanya. Actually, I won't say I think. I know very clearly it is. Going up a weight and beating the best heavyweight of all time is a way bigger deal than having a middleweight come up and you beating him, not even for the belt.
Okay, so here's my only argument against that. Is that DC went up and beat Stipe, and John Jones beat DC. So, if John Jones beat Adesanya, he gets that guy. And then after he beats Adesanya, then he can go to heavyweight and do that. So, I feel like it's more of something he can do this first and then go to heavyweight. But if he goes to heavyweight, maybe he doesn't get the Adesanya fight after.
But he's already going to heavyweight. Like, he's already bulking.
Yeah.
And he released his belt. So, like, I don't see why he would go down right now.
Yeah, I agree. It's a weird situation. He maybe gave that belt up a little too early to where it kind of messes with this. But, yeah, like we're saying, Adesanya, I don't even think he really wants to fight. But I do think he believes that he will be ready for him later, and he wants to do it at a later time. Because I think he kind of looks at his life like a movie. He has kind of like this weird...
He treats it like an anime.
Yeah, like an anime. Like, he has this vision, and he looks at himself in a way, and he, like, watches this shit. I mean, I really think he, like, sees himself in it and puts himself in that position, and he's like, I gotta keep training, and then I'll be able to beat that guy, and then we'll get my tribe back. I mean that like in an anime way. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't know.
But if he wants that John Jones fight, he needs to take it now. Because, like, it's not going to be there in 2021.
It might be. I don't know.
He'll be a heavyweight by then. He'll have a fight scheduled in 2021 with either Stipe or Ngannou.
Yeah.
And if he beats them, he's not going back down to fight Izzy.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I'd like to see it. It's a good one. It's like I wanted to see Silva fight him or GSP fight Silva back in the day. So this is a good one to see.
Yeah. All right. Other fight that has been talked about maybe was announced for a charity event. I'm not sure how official that was.
I think that was all bullshit.
Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier. Conor got in a huge argument with Dana White. Posted a bunch of messages. Like, they're very clearly not on the same page. Poirier had been arguing with the UFC before that, trying to get paid and wanted to get paid to fight Tony, which Dustin Poirier deserves to get paid. Dustin Poirier is actually a bigger name than I think people realize. Poirier is like I always...
That's such a weird thing to say.
But, like, I go based off of... The kids in my wrestling room are, like, casual MMA fans. Like, they watch MMA, they like it, but they really talk about it when the big names fight. And when Poirier fights, they talk about it. Like, they know who Dustin Poirier is, and they like watching him fight. So I feel like he's a bigger name than people give him credit for, so he should get paid. That's kind of beside the point, but he's also in an argument at the UFC. So Conor posted, or somebody posted something about wanting to fight. I think Conor did, and Dustin was like, I'll fight you. And Conor was like, oh, let's do it for a charity. I'll donate $500,000 to your charity and charities of people's choices and stuff. And Dustin agreed, and they made a poster. They posted it out. And then the UFC has offered Dustin and Conor a fight to fight each other in the UFC, and Dustin accepted it. Conor never said anything about it, so I assume he's not accepting it. But there has been an opening in November for a main event because Usman and Burns isn't happening. So those guys might be fighting, who knows, when or where.
Maybe. I don't know. You really never know with Conor McGregor. Dana said that he did offer them a fight. We'll see what happens. I really didn't expect Conor to fight in the UFC with no fans. So we'll see. I do kind of feel like that charity event was never going to happen. I didn't think it was going to be allowed to happen. Maybe it could have been, but I do kind of feel like for Conor at least it was a leverage thing. I think Dustin was probably all for it. So if this fight does happen in the UFC, I do kind of hope that they, Dustin always donates, but I hope Conor kind of keeps his word there and donates the money to Dustin's charity or somebody else's charity. Dustin has also worked, if anybody follows us on Twitter, at Ravelry MMA, I posted about Justin Wren's organization, if you've never heard of it. He's a Bellator fighter, and his organization is called Fight for Fight for the Forgotten. He goes over to Africa and helps out with the pygmy people and builds a lot of wells and does all kinds of really cool stuff. And Dustin's worked with him, so it'd be cool if they could make something happen with that. But just as far as the fight goes, that's a great fight. That rematch, totally different now. Dustin's a lot better. Conor probably is better too, maybe. It's
Conor's a lot better from back then.
It's hard to say like what he's doing now though, you know. But actually, I mean, he looks so good against freaking Cerrone. He might be as good as ever. So
I mean, even fucking since the Poirier fight, he fought Mendez, he fought Aldo and Alvarez. So that was all after the Poirier fight.
I know that he got better after that fight, but I don't know if he stayed as good as he was. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I was saying. Like, you just kind of don't know how Conor is, but I mean, he always looks good.
Even the Khabib fight, he did some good things.
Yeah, he fought really well against Khabib compared to everybody else.
As much as everyone shit on him, he probably gave Khabib the best fight that he's had. He defended a takedown pretty well. Like, the first takedown Khabib got, like, he defended it well. He stuffed the head. He was beating him to the corner. He almost took his back at one point. Mm-hmm. I think he maybe just didn't know you can't take someone's back like that in that situation. But he was stuffing the head. He was getting to the corner, doing all that stuff, and Khabib was just too relentless. I mean,
yeah.
But he did a lot of good things in that fight.
As much as I don't like Conor, he is a damn good fighter. And, I mean, every time I think that he's not going to do well or that he's not going to be as good, he comes back just as good or better. So, I don't know. That'll be a good one. I hope that fight comes through. Either way, if it's in the UFC or outside of the UFC, I think it'll be in the UFC. I hope it happens. I hope Dustin wins, but I think Conor will beat him.
Yeah, I would also go with Conor. I think anybody that's going to stand and trade with Conor is probably going to lose, especially in the early rounds. Poirier doesn't have that takedown threat. He has the conditioning advantage, but I mean, if you're going to stand with Conor in the first round, odds are you're probably getting knocked out. So, as much as I like Dustin, I have a hard time seeing him beating Conor.
I can see him beating Conor. I can see it. Like, he definitely has a chance. He's not out of the fight. He's way better than he was before, but I don't know. For some reason, I really do think Conor would beat him again, but I hope I'm wrong.
So, the thing, I don't know if I see the fight happening. I think this one has a better chance of happening sooner rather than later than the Izzy Jones fight.
Mm-hmm.
If the fight does happen, I think the UFC should donate the $500,000 to Poirier's charity, just because they're the one kind of taking that fight away. I don't think Dustin should have to donate $500,000 to his own charity.
Well, he does stuff no matter what.
Yeah,
I mean, that's his shit.
He'll probably donate more than that because if he fights Conor, he's going to be making a significant amount more than he usually does.
I don't think Conor should. I mean, I'm not going to.
I think Conor would donate, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I'm not saying this like, oh, these guys are holding out. I think that they're all going to do something to do that. Conor does try to do that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not like, oh, these guys will owe us money to do this. I think they're going to do it on their own, but that's all I hope they do.
I'd be very surprised if Dustin Poirier's charity doesn't end up with money from
yeah.
from Conor or the UFC. Somebody's going to be donating to his charity, so it's going to be good.
For sure.
The fight's not going to be happening in a charity event, though. I can guarantee that.
But it's going to turn out just fine.
Neither of these guys are going to fight for free. Conor McGregor ain't fighting anybody for free, and Dustin Poirier is not fighting Conor McGregor for free. If Conor McGregor is fighting, he's fighting in the UFC, maybe in a boxing ring. Who knows? Probably in the UFC, and making whoever he's fighting for millions and millions of dollars, including Poirier's charity most likely. But yeah, I would say the fight would probably end in Conor's favor by knockout. Yeah. He's just better. He's just better. They're both strikers. They're boxers. If those guys box, Conor's knocking them out. In the fight in the UFC, it's probably going to be mostly a boxing match. I don't think Dustin could take Conor down if he tried. So
probably not. Yeah, that's what's so crazy, man. Like I don't like Conor, but all the people that don't like Conor try to put all the stuff on him that's just not true. Like saying he's not that good, saying he can't stop a takedown, he can't fight a wrestler. I mean, he can do all of that. He's good.
Yeah, his takedown defense is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I think if there was a lightweight that had a really good, just like straight up wrestling double leg, I think Conor would struggle. But there really isn't a lightweight in the entire UFC that has that, including Khabib. I've watched some Khabib film. He doesn't really have just a good straight up wrestling takedown.
I think Gaethje would be an interesting fight, but I think Gaethje would try to fight him.
Yeah.
So that'd be the problem. It's like Gaethje does have the skills to beat him, but will he use them? That's the issue with him.
Probably not.
Yeah.
And Michael Chandler's coming to the UFC. He could maybe have some good wrestling, but I think Conor probably beats everybody in that division besides Khabib right now. Maybe Tony.
It's hard to say. He's just so inactive, and you only see him against some people. So I mean, it is hard to say.
Yeah. So our predictions are: John Jones, Izzy, not happening. If it does, Jones wins. Conor Poirier.
I think that I feel like it's going to happen,
but
maybe not until fans come back. I don't know, but I think it'll happen.
Fans ain't coming back anytime soon.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, man. I see so much shit.
Dana has said multiple times he's not even considering fans soon.
I thought that I saw like in Texas maybe they're opening it up to 100% capacity, but
the Dolphins are allowing 65,000.
Yeah.
Which they said is max capacity, which I don't think that's true. I think they can probably have more fans than that in their stands, but
yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe they'll start letting some fans in. I feel like if Conor comes back, they're gonna tweak it.
I disagree. I don't think Dana gives a fuck right now about if Conor comes back or not, and he's not having fans.
But they might have some, because
what's the point of that?
Huh?
What's the point of that? Having a few fans at a UFC
high
fight?
price.
Huh?
High price. Jack
Conor
prices
doesn't care
up.
about that though. If the fans thing's the issue, Conor's coming back for full crowds, or he's not fighting.
I don't know. We'll just see what happens.
He's not coming back for 5
Nobody
guys.
knows shit. We're just.
Dana said a lot recently that fans aren't coming anytime soon, and he doesn't care. Dude, they're making a fuck ton right now.
Yeah.
They're killing it. They're putting on events every fucking week, and having the best numbers they've had in a long time.
I don't know. I know I'm going to a Colts game in a couple weeks. That's all I know.
Yeah, shit's opening, but I don't think the UFC is.
Going Colts versus Bengals. What a game.
Colts are dogs.
Colts are looking good.
Yeah. Colts corner, baby.
Yeah.
All right. So, we're getting off topic. Yeah, that's it for that podcast about 3 of the 4 biggest names in the sport, excluding Khabib. I'd say Conor, Jones, and Izzy are the 3 other top ones. They might be the 3 top. Khabib's pride.
I bet he's number 1.
Khabib?
Mm-hmm.
He ain't better than Conor, but maybe number 2. So we just did a podcast before this about the Marlon Moraes versus Sandhagen card.
What a card.
Horrible card. But if you're looking for some betting advice, if you're just a hardcore fan looking to get some preview and predictions for those fights, we did a little recap or a preview and prediction on that. That'll be up right before this one. Shout out to Big Heads Media putting us on Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, all that good stuff. Shout out to MyBookie, who is our sponsor now through Big Heads Media. If you want something out of that website, use code Colts Corner, which is the other podcast that I am a part of with my cousin Vance and Warren, which we have not done a podcast in a while, but use code Colts Corner for that, and we will see you guys next time.